Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. InsyaAllah, hari ini kita akan belajar the last topic for this course, Islamic Financial Management, which is issues in Islamic finance. Okay, so tahu macam Ala, you already have a lot in your plates right now, like especially in Islamic finance, but every subject relates to Islamic finance. But then this topic I have to include lah, sebab macam is a requirement by the Malaysian Qualification punya agency kan. Kita nak tengok sama ada kata apa, cover lah sikit macam isu Islamic finance. So macam tak adalah kita more on conventional sangat. Okay, alright, topik ni kita nak discuss pasal the role of interest rate, kata apa, the complete prohibition. Kita cerita pasal kan Islamic finance kan no interest rate. Okay, so kita akan macam delve, tak adalah dalam tapi macam permukaan. Kita apa, kita nak sentuh permukaan, tapi saya punya fokus kat sini kita nak sentuh permukaan je, tapi permukaan tu sendiri dah banyak masalah when we use this kind of thing. Okay, interest rate is just very bad even from the surface. Okay, before we delve into apa interest rate ni punya konsep is deeper, dah ada dah masalah yang awal-awal. Okay, alright. The essence of Islamic finance. The central objective of Islamic finance is absolute prohibition in interest rate. Okay, bila kata absolute ni, okay, tak boleh, you cannot refute, you cannot argue, you cannot make amendment on interest rate. It is completely forbidden, it is completely prohibited. You are not allowed to charge interest rates at all. Okay, so this is the essence of Islamic finance. Jangan mengenakan kadar faedah, okay, ataupun dalam bahasa Arab dia riba kan. Okay, in 1970s, when the subject of Islamic finance was first raised in a serious way, its central tenet of the absolute prohibition of interest payment on debt was severely criticized by mainstream economists. Kenapa? Kan, of course kan, bila kata apa, the existence of Islamic finance ni, okay, dia punya the main objective is no interest rate. Tapi dunia, the whole world, okay, the whole world, when it comes to finance, the only way that you can raise money from lending ke from investment is interest rate. Sebab kalau tak ada interest rate, macam mana nak dapatkan extra money tu? Nampak tak how it works? So when Islamic finance comes into the existence, there was a lot of challenges and challenges, impediments, inhibitions yang orang kata apa, buffed up from the Islamic finance from developing. Okay, jadi sebab apa? Sebab the use of interest rate sendiri yang orang kata apa, tak munasabah according to the mainstream economics. So it was alleged that such prohibition was incompatible with modern economic analysis and would result in a gross misallocation of resources. Okay, dia kata sebab if we are not putting interest factor in our calculation, then how can we expect that in the future that we will have the same amount of kata apa, cash flow? Okay, nampak tak? Kan saya cakap kan, okay, because of the role of money, okay, selalunya RM1 hari ni takkan sama dengan RM1 depan. Okay, tapi usually RM1 hari ni akan lebih bernilai daripada RM1 di bulan hadapan ataupun di tahun hadapan sebab faktor inflation. Okay, tapi kalau kata apa, if RM1 is less valuable than next year's RM1, itu pun ada juga kaitan ni, buat cumanya it makes the consumer even happier lah, sebab dia punya nilai, the purchasing power of having RM1 next year tu lagi tinggi, so people akan simpan duit sekarang, macam tu. Okay, Professor Abbas Mirahor reports that BBC and the Wall Street Journal regarded the system as being totally non-viable and derived from voodoo economics, okay, in which he in 2010 also summarizes several premises or criticisms against Islamic finance. So Professor Abbas Mirahor ni, he's a renowned person in Islamic finance and Islamic economics. So based on kata apa, dia punya finding, okay, he summarized that some of the kata apa, taklah some juga macam all the criticisms, okay, the basis of criticisms towards Islamic finance. Okay, the first, zero interest mean infinite demand for loanable funds and zero supply. Kat sini bila dia masuk kat sini kan, zero interest means infinite demand ni, maksudnya macam bila tak ada interest rate, jadi the supply of loanable funds, infinite demand for loanable fund, maksudnya orang tak dikenakan charge dengan interest rate. Okay, jadi orang akan sentiasa meminjam sebab diorang tahu diorang tak payah nak sebab diorang tahu diorang tak payah bayar orang kata apa, tak payah bayar interest rate. Okay, jadinya permintaan untuk meminjam duit itu sentiasa tinggi, dan juga the supply will be zero, the supply of loanable fund. Sebab apa? Supply tu je, siapa yang nak meminjamkan duit kepada orang yang nak pinjam duit tu, dia tak akan provide the loan. Sebab apa? Sebab tak ada incentive to interest rate. So dia rasa macam, dapat aku bagi orang pinjam duit tapi tak ada faedah untuk aku, so baik tak payah supply. Itu maksudnya zero supply. So bila zero supply dengan infinite demand, dia tak ada relationship kat situ. Dia memang tak boleh nak berlawan kat situ. Okay, dia punya demand tu infinite, maksudnya tak berhenti kat mana-mana. Memang lagi ramai akan pinjam, orang kata apa, demand ataupun minta, orang kata apa, dalam pasaran pinjaman ni, diorang akan minta, tapi tak ada pun supply. Macam tu. Okay. Such a system would be incapable of equilibrating demand for and supply of loanable funds. Saya dah cakap tadi lah, equilibrating tu keseimbangan ataupun intersection between demand and supply. Okay. With zero interest rate, there would be no savings. Okay. Kenapa with zero interest rate there would be no savings? Okay, sebab kata apa, bila orang menyimpan, bila zero interest rate, macam diorang tahu macam diorang tak akan menyimpan. Sebab apa? Diorang bayar tu for the price of that goods itself, bukannya dia bayar untuk interest rate. Kalau dia tahu dia kena bayar untuk interest rate, dia akan menyimpan sebab dia tahu nanti dia banyak nak pakai duit. So bila dia tak payah interest rate, the savings will be zero lah. Itu criticisms of conventional economics towards the Islamic finance. Okay, this meant no investment and no growth. Okay, kalau ala, if you know kata apa, dalam economic term, okay, savings akan bermaksud investment. Sebab apa? Sebab bila kita menyimpan duit dekat dalam bank, okay, kita bukan menyimpan duit kat rumah kita. Bila kita menyimpan duit dalam bank akan guna duit simpanan kita tu, dia akan finance many projects. So hasil daripada financing of many projects tu, kita akan dapat modal kita campur very little amount of return. Return tu maksudnya macam hasil daripada kita punya pelaburan lah. Tak banyak, ikutlah bank. Kalau macam bank Islam, setiap bulan akan masuk 7 sen, setiap bulan akan masuk 6 sen, macam tu lah. Okay. Bila tak ada investment, there will be no growth. Okay, tak ada bila tak ada project nak invest, okay, savings tak ada, orang tak akan menyimpan dalam bank. Okay, jadi bank pun tak ada duit nak pinjam, nak kata apa, nak finance project. So bila duit tak ada, jadi project terbengkalai, there is no growth. Okay, nampak tak situ? Okay, in this system there could be no monetary policy, since no instruments of liquidity management could exist without a fixed predetermined rate of interest. In this system there could be no monetary policy, since no instruments of liquidity management could exist without a fixed predetermined rate of interest. Okay, kat sini orang kata apa, monetary policy ni, it handles based on, kalau macam kemelisitan ekonomi, dia akan control interest rate tu. Maksudnya dia reduce interest rate just to make sure orang boleh pinjam duit. Tapi kalau tak ada interest rate, when there is no zero interest rate, there will be no monetary policy. So bank negara Malaysia tak akan wujud dia orang punya kritikan tu. Okay, so since no instruments of liquidity management could exist without a fixed predetermined rate of interest, maksudnya dia kena orang kata apa, dia kena tetapkan satu nilai standard untuk orang kata apa, interest rate tu, supaya bank negara ataupun monetary authority boleh decide, okay, on what to do when there is recession ke, when the economy is booming ke, apa semua tu. Tak boleh lah tu. Okay, so this all meant that in countries adopting such a system, there will be one way capital flight. Okay, capital flight ni maksudnya lari lah. Maksudnya bila orang dah tak savings, so no growth, orang guna duit tu untuk diorang punya private consumption. So capital flight tu untuk big investment tak ada, so diorang beli diorang punya barang sendiri, so there will be no growth. Itu dia punya alasan terhadap Islamic finance on the absolute prohibition of interest rate. Maksudnya kalau tak ada interest rate, memang tak boleh berkembang pantas. Itu dia punya alasan. Okay. So cost benefit analysis, time preference and sharing akhlaq. Okay, in contrast with Islamic economic analysis, conventional economics widely use the notion of interest rates in their work. In terms of their paradigm, they have a legitimate use of zero interest rates, negative interest rates, and positive interest rate in examining real world economics. Okay, so dekat sini, every one of the practice economics, they will definitely masukkan the concept of time preference ataupun interest rate dalam diorang punya study. Sebab apa? Diorang nak fikir, okay, if contohnya lah kan, kerajaan kalau nak selesaikan hutang dia tapi interest rate dia tak masukkan, nanti jadi dia akan berkurangan lah nilai dia. Okay, sebab contohnya macam saya tu, a good example is the capital budgeting. Kalau kita guna payback period, orang kata apa, it is unrealistic because it doesn't consider the concept of time value of money. Okay, berapa kali saya cakap kan, time value of money, 1 ringgit today is not going to be different with 1 ringgit next year. So kena bila gunakan setakat payback period ini benda apa? Payback period dia cuma letak orang kata payback period ni dikirakan based on the berapa initial outlay tu. So dengan cash flow dia ada tu, dia gunakan untuk kira berapa habis dia bayar hutang investment tu. Okay, dah habis cost incurred bila initial outlay equals to the cash flow. Maksudnya beginning bila dah lebih pada initial outlay tu, maksudnya barulah ada positive cash flow. Kalau tak, memang kena settlekan untuk bayar dekat kita nak equate dengan initial outlay. Okay, sebab tu, tapi bila guna tu tak relevan sebab tak guna TVOM kan. Jadinya kena gunalah discounted payback period ataupun net present value. So net present value, kalau kita belajar kan, kalau macam anda perasan, when you are computing ataupun calculating the jumlah the total interest payment that you have to pay, so setiap bila tahun tu bertambah, your money ataupun the value will be even lower. Nampak tak the concept how interest rate, positive interest rate tu akan kurangkan nilai based on the cash flow you have expected. Okay, tapi sebenarnya macam tu sebenarnya tak boleh dibuat sebab it actually defies the actual condition of this world. Okay, kalau tengok point number 3, interestingly, in conventional economics, in the classic work of Arthur Pigou and F.P. Ramsey on the subject, it is also strongly argued that this time preference should be zero. The purpose in this case being in the achievement of intergenerational fairness. Okay, so Arthur Pigou dengan F.P. Ramsey ni, they are the famous, one of the infamous economists in this world. Sebab Pigou ni dia punya center of study dia kepada how can government tax the people, lepas tu and then dia kata macam how interest rate is actually bad for the economics. Okay, so under the concept of intergenerational fairness. So masuk kat sini, despite of you macam kalau makin tua kan, kalau macam kita dah ada lebih banyak generation, okay, kita nak kasih the fair kat situ, kita jangan guna interest rate. Sekarang ni reality dia, kalau Alia tengok kan, sebab Alia still belajar lagi, you may not have the pressure. Okay, sekarang kita nak cerita dulu mak bapak kita by the age of 25 or 26, they could have bought a house for themselves. Tapi kalau umur 25, 26 macam ni, 27, memang tak boleh beli rumah langsung. In fact, I'm staying with my parents. I do not have the money to buy the houses ke apa ke, sebab because the price of the product is very expensive. Okay, why the price of many products is expensive? Because of the inflation rate. rate. And inflation rate is derived by the concept of interest rate. Sebab apa? Ingat tak mula-mula kita belajar, interest rate has to be higher to control for the inflation rate. Okay, kalau interest rate sama dengan inflation rate, so there will be no return to the investor. Nampak tak kat situ tu punya problem. So when you are using interest rate ni, it doesn't lead to intergenerational fairness. Nampak tak? Okay, nampak tak? Ada nampak tak apa yang saya nak try sampaikan? Okay, it means that macam tak fair lah. Sebab macam kalau tengok dulu kalau kerang mak saya kata 8% je, tapi sekarang kerang sekilo RM6. Okay, sekilo RM5. Very expensive. Kalau makan kerang kan, dia beratnya dia punya shell je, isi dia tak banyak. Okay, itu maksudnya macam the concept of inflation rate lah. Okay, inflation rate is driven by the interest rate. So dia punya orang kata apa, tak fair lah untuk kita. Sebab generasi macam kita dah kena suffer. Island lagi macam mana saya tak tahulah. Okay, kalau ada rezeki alhamdulillah. Tapi kita punya peranan sebagai khalifah kat muka bumi ni, we need to aware of this problem, and then we need to eradicate this issue. Sebab we don't want the future generation to suffer. Okay, so that's why Atu Pigu ni dengan FP Ramsey, diorang kata time preference should not be required, must not, orang kata apa, cannot be required in calculating the future endeavour of any project. Okay, sebab under the basis of intergenerational fairness. Okay, a positive discount rate or interest rate would greatly favour the current generation at the expense of future generations. Pigu considered it as ethically wrong to discount future consumption or utility just because it takes place in the future. He argued that discounting was basically due to myopic behaviour. Tengok, orang kafir pun, okay, dia Atu Pigu ni he's a Christian, but then he really went against the interest rate. Okay, because dia kata it is ethically wrong to discount future consumption just because it takes place in the future. Just because it takes place in the future. Okay, orang kata apa, you expect the price of the good nak jadi mahal. Okay, sebab apa? It will be in the future. Sekarang ni kita tengok because of someone stupid in the past, okay, tahu tak interest rate ni, it just, orang kata apa, it just developed by human. Manusia pertama yang buat interest rate tu, ya Allah, saya rasa memang azab dia dekat dunia ni. Okay, kat akhirat tu memang azab sangat. Sebab mungkin dia start dengan seorang ni kan, macam dia kan trading emas kan, kita start dengan emas apa semua tu, dia tuliskan nota kat emas tu, orang lain yang hantar emas, jadi dia buat note dekat emas tu, dia kata okay, paper ni bernilai RM20 ataupun 20 jongkok emas. So dia bagi kertas tu dekat orang nak pinjam duit tu. Okay, instead of pinjam emas, dia pinjam paper yang kertas yang menunjukkan harga tu berapa ringgit. So dia serahkan. So and then bila lama dia kata macam, oh, kalau aku menipu sikit mungkin aku dapat banyak. So kata, let's say jengkung yang orang bagi jongkok emas tu, let's say dalam orang kata apa, let's say dalam RM5,000 lah kan. And then RM5,000 dia charge kat situ, bila orang pinjam RM5,100. Macam tu. Nampak tak? Dia untung atas angin saja, padahal dia jaga emas orang. So nanti mampu dia, memang dia kena azab lah kat akhirat, saya cakap. Okay, so Atu Pigu dia kata memang tak adalah sebab if we want to charge the future consumption with discounted value, tak boleh. Memang tak boleh. Memang like, what is the basis just for the fair per future, and then this is myopic behaviour. Memang tak fair langsung. But this is the real world that we are living in. Okay, so Pigu and Ramsey took the view that a zero rate of discount would promote equity by preventing the current generation from acting selfishly. Okay, promote equity ni, preventing current generation from acting selfishly. Kenapa dia kata current generation from acting selfishly? Tengok I have no mean of offending anyone, okay, whether it be your parents ke apa ke. Nampak tak being selfish ni macam mana? Kalau Alia perasan sekarang ni pasaran rumah sangat-sangat teruk. Okay, rumah M40 dibeli oleh T20, tapi T20 bila developer rumah ni buat rumah untuk T20, diorang tak nak beli rumah tu, jadi rumah tu terbengkalai. But then even it is very terbengkalai pun, the price is just the same, expensive as hell. Even rumah M40 pun T20 baru mampu boleh beli. Sebab dia tahu dia tak boleh nak beli T20 punya rumah. Okay, nampak tak kat situ? So nanti M40 beli rumah ke bawah 40, B40. Tapi orang B40 ni tak boleh lah. Dia terpaksa menyewa. Jadi orang kaya ni, dia banyak duit. Bila dia beli rumah bawah, rumah harga kos rendah, sebab tak ada, there's no requirement that people who have higher income should buy the ones that are provided for them, which is rumah T20. Kalau T20 kena beli rumah T20 kat kawasan-kawasan elit macam tu kan. Jadi kena tengok. Maksudnya kat sini, kata apa, being selfish ni, tengok macam kita tu apa, sibuk nak beli rumah nak sewakan ke orang. Nampak tak selfishnya? Orang lain terpaksa menyewa sampai mati sebab dia tak boleh nak beli rumah. Okay, nampak tak betapa tak adilnya dunia ni. Sebab current generation is being so selfish. Okay, I'm not gonna lie about that. So they regarded a non-zero rate of discount as necessarily implying an unfair advantage for the current generation. Thus, Big and Ramsey's ethical judgment coincided with those Islamic finance on this particular issue. So kat sini boleh perasan lah, even tak payah macam saya explore pun, Alia boleh nampak kan yang idea proposed by these two Christian scholars match with the concept of Islamic finance. Okay, but then they live even earlier. Okay, so much earlier than the existence of Islamic finance itself. Okay. So however, there is a more significant argument in favor of a non-zero discount rate or a positive time preference, which is based on the fact that the society tomorrow is likely to be richer than it is today because of economic growth. In these circumstances, a social rate of time preference has a sound ethical justification. Okay. So tapi ada pula orang kata isu kata okay, kalau kita tak provide discount ataupun interest rate dekat in the future punya preferences, tapi nanti orang kata dalam masa depan, in the future, our future generation will be richer. Okay, so macam tapi kat situ pula ada timbul macam, which is logical lah. Okay, but then in these circumstances, a social rate of time preference has a sound ethical justification. So macam critics against it adalah valid point lah kan. Okay, it is a moot point whether a non-zero discount rate in cost-benefit analysis accords with Sharia law. Nevertheless, it may be useful to observe that non-zero discount rate arises here entirely from the fact of greater production in the subsequent time periods. Therefore, it is different from the case of money earning interest without any effort. Here, the non-zero rate is associated with economic growth. Okay, interest rate, savings and financial liberalization. So, okay, part ni kita nak discuss pasal the proponents of interest rate. Okay, ataupun orang yang macam sangat sokong dengan the concept of interest rate. Even they did a study, okay, they did a special study just to go against the the concept of Islamic finance, which is zero tolerance on interest rates. Okay, so R.I. McKinnon and E.S. Shaw are two of the strong proponents of interest rate. Diorang ni lecturer from the Stanford University. Stanford University is one of the best Ivy League lah, one of the best university in the world as well as the United States kan. Okay, so kat sini dia punya summary of their arguments against Islamic finance. Okay, their view of favoring interest rate is always positive. Okay, memang diorang suka sangat yang konsep interest rate. They argued that countries that have low interest rate have low economic growth, while high interest rate brings high economic growth. Itu dia punya pasak untuk menyatakan yang interest rate ni determine whether the economic growth, okay, determine that economic growth depends on the interest rate level. Okay, higher interest rate will be high economic growth, lower interest rate will mean low economic growth. Okay, McKinnon and Shaw attributed the poor performance of investment and growth in developing countries to financial repression as expressed interest rate ceilings, high reserve ratio and directed credit programs. Financial repression ni maksud dia kata apa? Bila tengok kat negara-negara yang miskin kan, dia kata apa? Sebab interest rendah lah, sebab tu tak ada pembangunan. Okay, nampak tak? Okay, kat sini kan, McKinney dengan Shaw ni, diorang punya focus of attention is diorang belahkan corporate besar. Corporate besar, diorang nak duit ni, and then diorang nak bayar sikit, diorang pinjam, even though diorang kata diorang bayar interest, tapi at the end of the day, diorang juga yang kaya. Okay, bila high interest rate, memanglah dia akan discourage, tapi masalahnya macam diorang akan jadi macam lebih kaya. Sebab apa? The factor that the poor is getting poorer, the rich is getting richer. Okay, bila orang ada banyak duit, dia menyimpan dekat dalam bank, dia dapat higher return. Okay, tak kisahlah what kind of investment, fixed deposit investment ke, ataupun atau mutual fund ke, whatever kind of investment, amanah raya semua tu, it requires money for you to begin with. Okay, Alia kalau Alia rasa macam kalau tak faham tanya saya, but then kita nak melabur ni kita nak dapat duit ekstra kan. Okay, kita nak melabur, kita kena duit. Kalau kita letak 10 sen, lambatlah duit kita nak beranak. Tapi kalau kita letak sedebuk RM1,000,000, lagi cepat kita punya return. Okay, jadinya orang kaya ni, dia dah fund asal-asal. Bila dia melabur, nak kalau interest rate tinggi, lagilah dia seronok. Okay, dia kata kenapa low economic growth. Bila high interest rate ni, dia melabur, bila high interest rate dia melabur, dia dapat higher return. Okay, pulangan tinggi. Jadi pulangan tinggi tu lebih untung ada pelaburan tu. Let's say dia beli kereta ke, ataupun dia buat kedai baru ke, dia buka company ke. That's why dia kata Shaw dengan McKinney kata, bila high interest rate, people will be making consumption based on the interest return, and then they will make create economic development kat situ. Itu dia orang punya proponent. Okay, dia orang punya propositions. Okay, so they suggested that the liberalization of the financial system would lead to higher interest rate, and thereby to greater savings, to greater quantity as well as quality of investment and to growth. Okay, so kat sini, liberalization of financial system will lead to higher interest rate. Okay, kenapa dia kata apa? Liberalization ni, kebebasan kewangan. Okay, thereby to greater savings, to greater quantity as well as quality of investment and to growth. Okay, kena dia cakap macam ni bila dia assume bila orang menyimpan, okay, orang menyimpan sebab dia kata apa, orang menyimpan dalam bank, saya cakap tadi kan. Okay, bank akan ambil untuk guna investment. Okay, so to greater quantity as well as investment and to growth. Okay, this is completely contradicts with the main concept of Islamic finance. Okay, semua proposition by McKinney and Shaw ni, it goes totally against. Okay, it is parallel. It does not intersect ke, it goes parallel, that you cannot tak boleh match langsung lah dia punya argument against Islamic finance, totally against Islamic finance itu. Okay, alright, to summarize what McKinney and Shaw's views, high interest rate would yield higher savings. Higher savings will lead to higher investment. High interest rate will also improve the productivity of investment and thereby lead to faster growth. Okay, higher interest would lead to higher savings. Kenapa? Saya cakap tadi kan, okay, bila orang tu ada RM1,000,000 kan, bila melabur tu is a form of savings lah, sebab dia korbankan penggunaan dia sekarang untuk kegunaan masa depan. So bila higher interest rate, it will lead to higher savings. Itu dia punya summary. Okay, higher savings will lead to higher investment, yang sudah explain dah. Bank akan gunakan duit simpanan kita untuk buat finance activity pelaburan. So high interest rate will also improve the productivity of investment and thereby lead to faster growth. Okay, high interest rate will also improve the productivity of investment. Okay, yelah, bila duit dah banyak, bank akan financekan project and thereby lead to faster growth. So ekonomi tu dapat dibangunkan, okay, ataupun dikembangkan dengan lebih pantas. Itu dia punya summary of the propositions against Islamic finance, atau propositions of having interest rate dalam kehidupan. Macam tu dia punya alasan lah for McKinney and Shaw. Okay, so there's several things that Islamic finance has come up with lah, arguments against McKinney and Shaw. Savings are however done by one kind of economic agents ataupun economic agents individual and savings are okay, saya ulang balik savings are however done by one kind of economic agents, which are individuals and households, and investment are carried out by other groups such as firms and entrepreneurs. Okay, the different kind of agents have different motivations, and there is no reason why savings should determine investment. Critics also point out that McKinnon and Shaw assume there is always full employment of resources. Okay, tengok kat sini savings ni dia bukannya dibuat oleh firm and banks. Okay, firm kata apa dia boleh bukannya savings ni. Okay, orang yang orang kata apa savings ni yang buatnya adalah individuals and household. Kita di sendiri kita menyimpan duit. Okay, investment ni pelaburan are carried out by the other groups such as firms and entrepreneurs. Okay, aktiviti pelaburan ni bukan kita yang buat. Kita ni cuma letak duit kita je. Tapi yang aktiviti pelaburan ni, activity to earn that return is done by the other groups such as firms and entrepreneurs. So the different kinds of agents have different motivation. So agent kat sini adalah individuals and household. Okay, kata apa, firm entrepreneurs. Okay, these are the agents yang kata berkaitan rapat dengan investment. So different agents have different motivation. Ada sebabnya kenapa diorang simpan duit kat bank. Ada orang dia tak ada insurance plan, so dia simpan tu bukan untuk dia senang untuk melabur. Dia gunakan duit tu untuk apa? Untuk macam let's say kalau terdapat dia sakit ke dalam 20 tahun dia sakit, dia boleh guna duit simpanan dia. Macam tu. Okay, so critics also point out that McKinnon and there is no reason why saving should determine investment. Tak ada sebab saving should determine investment. Sebab orang lain dia punya motif sebab dia menyimpan. Ada orang macam memang lain. Dia macam kau buat macam mana pun, macam saya pun menyimpan ada sebab lain, bukan untuk melabur. Okay, but then saya dalam kes ni sebab sini I'm a graduate of finance economics, so I believe that the reason that I use savings ni untuk melabur. Okay, dia just happens that kalau macam kita business punya students, kita simpan duit untuk melabur. Tapi kalau students yang tak ada ilmu business langsung, macam dia macam it is very far from the discipline, macam mana dia nak guna duit tu? There will be different motivation. Kita ni manusia, rambut sama hitam tapi hati lain-lain. Okay, alright. Critics also point out that McKinnon and Shaw assume there is always full employment of resources. Okay, kat sini critics also point out ni full employment ni maksud apa? Dia kata higher interest rate will lead to higher savings. Okay, higher savings will lead to higher investment. Higher investment will lead to higher economic growth. Tapi dia assume dalam negara tu there will be full employment. Semua orang yang layak bekerja akan bekerja. Tapi in reality nak waktu sekarang orang lagi lah tak nak menyimpan. Unemployment rate is soaring upwards. Okay, kadar pengangguran kat Malaysia sekarang ni akibat coronavirus sangat-sangat tinggi. Okay, jadi orang menyimpan tu untuk kegunaan kecemasan lah. So bukannya okay, tak apa, aku dah kena buang, jadi duit dalam bank tu aku boleh keluarkan, aku boleh simpan lagi sampai aku dapat kerja baru. Tak, bila kita dah habis kerja, bila kita dibentikan kerja, kita tak akan ada punca pendapatan at least dalam 5 to 6 months. Nampak tak? Kita nak keep up dengan regular bill payment, orang kata apa, to pay a lot of things, nak kata apa, in general kan. Kita nak bayar bil air, kita nak bayar bil elektrik, kita nak bayar bil internet, kita nak bayar bil duit kereta bulan-bulan. Kalau kita kena buang, kita masuk kita nak kena duit. Okay, jadi full employment. Shaw ni dengan McKinnon ni dia assume yang high interest rate will be high faster economic development atau economic growth. Dia cuma assume yang full employment. Dia tak kira langsung orang yang tak kerja. Kalau orang yang menganggur, barang makin mahal, duit dah tak ada, lagilah diorang merana. Lagi diorang merana kat situ. Okay, so moreover, this suggests that whether or not higher interest rate in the formal sector following liberalisation will increase aggregate savings depends on the savings behaviour of the losers and gainers from this process. Okay, memanglah kita nampak macam kita dapat retain kan Alia, tapi sebenarnya the one who exerts kata apa, the one who exerts the effort tu kan, dia punya allocation of untung to profit tu is disproportionate. Sampai kita pun dapat sangat-sangat sikit. Sebab alasan kita cuma letakkan duit, lepas tu diorang buat kerja. But then kalau tak ada duit, diorang tak dapat buat kerja kak. So there is no justification yang kita dapat rendah sangat. Sebab itulah kita melabur macam mana pun kita dapat rendah, and they end up yang orang yang lagi kaya tu akan lagi kaya, and dia punya macam-macam. Macam tu. Okay. Alright. So to the extent that the personal sector, individual and household finances the investment of the corporate sector, which are often highly geared in developing countries, higher interest rate may reduce corporate profits and retain earnings. Okay, so kat sini kata apa, negara-negara membangun, bila orang menyimpan duit ni, okay, macam kita lah negara Malaysia kan, negara membangun, negara yang tengah berkembang ni, kita bank punya konsep, okay, dia ambil kita punya deposit ni, dia bangunkan mana-mana projek kat dalam negara. Okay, so higher interest rate may reduce corporate profits and retain earnings. Okay, kat sini bila higher interest rate cakap bila company gunakan duit investment from the other people, dia terpaksa bayar interest rate lah. So it will reduce the corporate profit and retain earning. Retain earning tu kata apa, hasil yang boleh disimpan. Maksudnya lepas tolak apa semua tu, itulah untung betul dia tu, dia boleh simpan. Okay, so the central point is that although the rise in interest rate will increase personal income, if the savings propensity of the personal sector is lower than of the corporate sector, it will lead to decline in total savings. Okay, ini Professor Akus, bukan Professor Akus, saya tak sure, dia just a regular researcher kot. Okay, Dr. Akus lah, maybe sekarang dia dah professor, sebab this one is from 1991. Okay, nampak kan kita apa, although the rise in interest rates will increase personal income, if the savings propensity of the personal sector is lower than the corporate sector, it will lead to a decline in total savings. Okay, propensity ni maksudnya the inclination, the tendency. Okay, the tendency for someone to save tu, kalau dia punya rasa, dia punya firasat tu nak menyimpan, dia punya rasa semangat dia, azam dia untuk menyimpan tu is lower than the corporate sector, it will lead to a decline in total savings. Okay, sebab kita, okay, macam ada tengok sekarang ni situation dia, kita beli, kita nak menyimpan, tapi harga barang semua mahal. Okay, road tax kereta mahal, macam kisah lah, tapi road tax tahun sekali kan. Okay, kita nak makan KFC, kita nak makan McD, kita nak makan Sushi King, kita nak makan semua benda lah nak makan, since we are foodie. Okay, kita sanggup berbelanja banyak just untuk beli overpriced food. Okay, padahal kita boleh jimat je makan kat cafe campus ke, cafe kat office ke, which is very very cheap compared to the outside punya price. Okay, jadi macam kalau propensity ni, maksudnya macam kita dapat income banyak kan, kita dapat income, gaji 6,000, lepas tu tolak dengan tolak komitmen, lepas tu kita punya komitmen yang dapat digunakan untuk consumption ataupun savings dalam 3,000. Okay, 50%. So bila dapat dekat 300, okay, dah dapat 3,000, and then kita nak simpan berapa, kita nak belanja berapa. Of course kita tinggal belanja kan, we have needs kan. Okay, so more importantly, whether for the above reasons or others, empirical evidence from many countries that liberalized their credit markets in 1980s and increased the interest rate, particularly Asian countries, shows that there was no systematic rise in aggregate savings in these countries. Okay, so kat sini point number 3 kat slide ni nak cakap apa tau, bukan setakat theoretically yang McKinnon dengan Shaw punya proposition ni is tak betul, tapi empirically ni maksudnya dia buat kajian secara statistik, secara fakta, dia guna nombor. Okay, dia menunjukkan bahawa bila gunakan orang kata negara-negara Asia, bila dia kata high interest rate, okay, particularly in Asian countries, it shows that there was no systematic rise in aggregate savings in these countries. Okay, dia dah terbukti secara dekat negara Asia ni, high interest rate takkan bermaksud higher savings in the countries. Sebab dia nak membeli kereta, bila dah beli kereta, interest rate tu dekat situ juga tinggi. Jadinya macam pimai-pimai tang tu lah jadinya, macam tu je. Okay, tak ada dunia. Alright, ethical foundations of Islamic finance. Okay, ethical principles guiding Islamic finance emphasize the avoidance of gharar in the sense of deliberate ambiguity. Deliberate ambiguity maksudnya macam keraguan yang disengajakan, kan? Okay, principles of Islamic finance are implemented through contracts. Sharia law covers conditions of contracts and rights and freedom of the contracting parties, among other matters. So kat sini Profesor Miraho ni dia assess that the rich help the poor as a demonstration of sympathy, beneficence and benevolence and charity. In Islam, the more able are required to share the consequences of the materialization of idiosyncratic race. Okay, ni boleh baca sendiri, kan? Okay, so the essence of Profesor Miraho punya ayat ni, dia nak cakap macam okay, foundations of Islamic finance, kita nak orang kata tak perlu ada interest rate ni. Dia kena ada konsep yang orang kaya kena tolong orang miskin. Okay, jangan ada rasa pentingkan diri. Dia macam mana, macam kalau saya cakap kan, it really relate to me personally. Sebab apa, saya rasa macam ya Allah, aku ni kata kata tak mampu, memang tak mampu. Orang kata apa, bukanlah tak mampu je ada kerja, tapi kenapa kedekut sangat nak tolong orang miskin? Kenapa kedekut sangat derma? Sebab saya macam alamak, takut nanti ada kerja masak aku kena guna duit. Okay, dia punya konsep kat sini Allah kena faham. Cuma kita sampaikan untuk peringatan kita bersama, kan? Okay, we use kita ada duit ni, kita yakin pada Allah supaya macam memang kita dah dapat pulangan tu lambat, tapi orang kata apa, tapi kita punya orang kata apa, bila kita letak keyakinan kita kat Allah, Allah akan tolong. Okay, bila kita macam derma kat masjid, kita tolong orang susah, InsyaAllah Allah akan tolong. Lambat atau cepat je itu masalahnya. Tapi we just have to believe that kita kena yakin yang Allah tu sentiasa ada. Okay, personally speaking, memang experience this first hand. Macam cakap, macam there was one time that saya rasa macam reluctant sangat nak tolong orang tu. Tapi saya cakap dalam hati, ya Allah, Tuhanku, kalau ini adalah ujian aku untuk ujian kau untuk aku, aku berserah je. Saya cakap dalam hati. Lepas tu saya bagi macam, bila saya bagi, saya macam risau duit saya tak ada. Tapi saya tak dapat tak adalah orang bagi saya lagi RM1. No, saya rasa macam dalam sepanjang sepanjang bulan tu, saya rasa ya Allah, tenang sangat. Macam tak, for the first time ever, I don't have the insecurity towards having no money. Nampak tak easily that kita dapat content kat situ. Dia rasa macam, kita rasa macam bersyukur, cukup je duit yang kita ada. Itu yang dia punya concept of benevolence kat situ. Okay, alright. So moving on to the last slide. Okay, so I just want to simplify untuk make things easier. Sebab Alia pun belajar kan benda ni kan kat dalam kelas lain. So macam this is just a supplementary topic for you to assist in understanding the concept of Islamic finance, which is you are already expert than me lah. Sebab memang student Islamic finance, bukan Islamic finance, social economics. Okay, so however, the reason as to why Islamic finance poses a considerable threat is the moral hazard. Okay, lack of incentive to guard against risk where one is protected from its consequences. Okay, kat sini kita nak cerita macam mana nak cakap moral hazard ni. Okay, bayangkan bila kita tak payah bayar interest rate, okay, bila kita tak payah bayar interest rate, kita macam orang kata apa, bila kita tak payah bayar interest rate, macam mana nak cakap bagi yang pembincang tu kan, kita akan macam wow, kita tak payah bayar interest lah, bestnya. Okay, bila dia tahu, kita excited sangat, kita janji kita akan bayar komitmen kita tu bulan-bulan. Tapi bila dia dah tahu tak ada interest rate, dia macam tak burden tu macam beban dia terangkat sikit. Jadi macam dia will always incentive yang dia tak akan bayar. Macam tu, there is no guarantee. Okay, there is no guarantee. Maksudnya macam dia selesa sangat. Macam dia tahu tak dikenakan interest rate. So memang dia macam kalau dia tak nak bayar bulan-bulan. Sebab dia tahu kalau kena charge lebih, itu dah kira riba. Okay, sebab charge penalty apa semua tu kan denda. Okay, but dia macam orang kata apa, dia tahu tu dia boleh bayar bila masa je. Itulah problemnya sekarang moral hazard. Itu pula orang kata apa, the problem if we regulate Islamic finance. Boleh jadi macam tu. Walaupun orang kata apa, kita kena fikir dosa dengan pahala. Tapi come on lah, kalau tengok ke sekarang ni, kalau orang fikir dosa pahala, takkannya orang bercuri berbili ringgit kan kerajaan kan. Itu je. Okay, so kat situ macam you have to kata apa, remember lah, remembrance towards Allah is the key to everything. Okay, so in your final exam, Alia kalau macam topik ni Alia macam baca and fahamkan, and kalau nak hafal lah, sebab dalam final saya masukkan ni dalam final exam. Okay, so I think that's all for the syllabus of IFFM211, Islamic Financial Management. And saya rasa saya jumpa Alia sedepan. Dah tahu dah saya jumpa Alia sedepan, okay, in marketing punya subject. So I hope that you had a great day. Saya harap macam kita jumpa lagi. Saya ingat nak buat kelas guna Zoom lah pula. Okay, macam try and error macam dah okay dah. Tapi saya nak buat Zoom maybe dalam 3-4 kali per saya dalam satu semester. And then saya akan buat macam ni juga. Okay, so I really thank you. Terima kasih sebab memahami keadaan semua. Terima kasih sebab for being stronger, okay, facing this kind of challenges. And I hope that we can resume back tak lama lagi lah, okay, even though kita kena